Our story was told, especially after coming out of our 49th independence anniversary. The most important part of our story is that we are the most diverse nation on planet Earth in terms of bearing our population, our language diversity, our cultural diversity, as well as our biodiversity. This is the unique place we have in the family of nations. Our diversity, cultural, linguistic diversity, as well as biodiversity, is second to none. And we put it straight to the world to know that in the midst of our challenges, the fact that 49 years we've maintained our democracy as one people, one nation, one country is a great testament to our people's resilience and our ability that we are holding true. We also acknowledge the United Nations' role in some of the crucial pivotal moments of our own nation's life, especially at the backdrop of the Bougainville peace process. The United Nations has had a strong hand in ensuring that the peace process was maintained all the way through since it was birthed in 2001. And so the United Nations' role was acknowledged. The Bougainville issues were placed there in the heart of the United Nations in the context of the last leg of the peace process remaining. And in my own private meeting with the United Nations Secretary General, we have conversations also touched on Bougainville, touched on our forestry resources. I put it to him clearly that our forestry resources cannot be downplayed in the context of the climate change conversations that is taking place. The climate change conversation and forest conservation are two sides of the same coin, as PNG always advocates. So, United Nations meeting was concluded. I want to indicate also you may have picked a snippet of our government's indication to the world that the next 20 years coming up for us is important. We want to migrate away from a nation that is exporting raw produces to a manufacturing-based economy, consistent with obviously our Vision 2050 outlines that Somare set in 2010. Our nation's intention to move into economy that is manufacturing-based in the next 20 years was clearly outlaid to our United Nations family of nations, and come to back home with a lot of plans and thoughts, and as we said inside before we stepped to this media conference, our own leaders reflected on ourselves as to how we must all move into that direction. 2045 will be 5 years short of the Vision 2050 target, where our nation must be a top 50 nation in as far as HDI is concerned. So those were clearly outlaid to the United Nations. By next year, our country will give our scorecard, our human development indicators scorecard. That's 5 years short of the 2030 requirements by all nations to submit our HDI reports. We will do a second review this year towards next year, and we will present our second review reports to UN by 2025. I want to also indicate that I met ExxonMobil president of the upstream, Mr. Liam Molon, and he gave his fullest assurance that ExxonMobil is working with Total to review the cost of the Papua LNG, and Papua LNG project is not abandoned. It will still be run. Working with Total, the ExxonMobil is assisting in restructuring the cost element, and Papua LNG will still be running. They also give indication that they're working in terms of doing deep work in relation to the Penang LNG. So that was an important side meeting I had in the margins of the United Nations meeting. It's good to be back home. I want to give assurance to our people that leaders do work long hours, and we are time bound. As you saw, I gave assurance to the United Nations that by the next 20 years, Papua New Guinea will grow economy Papua New Guinea will make a massive stride, and with this body of leaders have given us ourselves this timeline. Judge Marape may not be around for the next 20 years, but certainly the next 20 years I want all of us, public servants, elected leaderships, and citizens and private sector to join in, and let's make this stride towards a big economy, manufacturing-based economy by 2045. And I will relate to the country as to what concrete steps we will be taking as our leadership team going to a meeting that is coming up very, very soon.